Only T-Mobile gives you unlimited data with taxes and fees included, so you save hundreds a year. And get 2 lines for just $100 a month, all in with AutoPay. And right now, harness the power of unlimited with the Samsung Galaxy S8. It's the fastest Galaxy ever, so it deserves the fastest and most advanced LTE network. Why wait? Switch today. Only at T-Mobile.
Top 3% of users greater than 30 gigabytes per month may notice reduced speeds. Price includes sales tax.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Bold with the topic, sorta like the rebels when it's game time. They like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th of 26 saw the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.
Yo, what's good, War Room family? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. This is the Blueprint Jimmy, and I'm at the round table with a special guest. We got Phil Matic of the Tissue and the Tape and On the Couch with the Wilsons podcast. My brother B. Austin should be here soon. You know what I mean? Thanks to the big homie LeVar Ball, you know, sneaker culture has dominated our conversation off air this week. So, of course, we wanted to bring that to the airways for all of you to join in. So keep it locked right here for the next 2 hours. And if you want to holler us throughout the show, here's what you do. Join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room. That's at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. Or join us on Facebook or Twitter, which is at War Room Sports. You can also call us when we open up the phone lines, and we will be opening them up soon. That's the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline at 323-410-0012. Before we get started, a couple shout-outs from the network. Throughout the week, make sure you check out the War Room Sports Podcast Network. You know, our show is on there. But you can also listen to the Broad Street Line with Roy and Chris, Luke and them. Like I mentioned, Phil from Tissue and the Tape, you know, him and Savah be holding it down. Join that with the Burtons, the No Look Podcast with Frank and Andy, Bump and Run with Robin Vanderberg, On the Couch with the Wilsons. You know, Phil's a podcast legend. He's on a couple podcasts, and a whole lot more. Listen, you can visit warroomsports.com and click on the Podcast Network tab, or you can get our free mobile app. We have a free mobile app that's on Android as well. You can get everything we do, including our we've been inspired by Triple B. We about to relaunch the WRS gear. We got our new stuff out there because the stuff we got is, you know, we still got stuff out there we've been rocking, but we about to turn up. Shout out to the legend LeVar Ball. With that being said, though,
dropping them $200 tees, yo.
Yo, we the SBB though. We the small baller brand. I already know. Listen, man. On a more serious note, though, what's your president? I guess he thinks that there can't be an FBI investigation into his ties with Russia if there's no FBI director. So, on a more serious note, what's up with your man?
Hey, ain't my man, Joe. Don't bring me over here, yo.
I mean, what's going on with that?
That's wild, though, man. Like, it's crazy that he's even able to do this. Like, it's like obviously where there's smoke, there's fire. Literally, like, James told me, he's like, yo, we gonna get this dude. Now, I mean, we investigating. I just need a little more funds, for agents and, you know, manpower. He was like, what you mean? You found something? Oh, you gotta go. and he didn't even give a legit reason. He just said he wasn't doing a good job. Like seriously, yo.
Yo, it's amazing to me. And this is going to be a theme throughout the show, like, because when you see like the right wing, and here's the funny thing, right? I'm unlike a lot of people. I know right wing people, right? You know, I work in the real estate business, so you meet a lot of of those people. Right. With that being said, I don't erase them. I know people that erase their friends on Facebook and Twitter. They get so heated. I mean, I've even had friends who literally have left social media since the election because they just don't like the negative energy. But I like friends just to see what they say, sort of like me spying on them and see what they say. Because I'm not the most liberal person, but I'm also not conservative either. You know what I mean? I'm all about RB, but that's neither here nor there. But what's crazy to me is like the world has become wrestling, where it's like if you like a guy, it doesn't matter if he does anything crazy. Like, you're supporting him because that's your guy.
Absolutely.
And I just don't get that. Like, I don't think there's one person on this planet that I agree 100% with about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you can't.
That
right?
would be weird.
So my thing is, even with this whole LeVar Ball thing, you see how like kind of dug that in there. Like I bangs with LeVar Ball for what he's doing, but like I also don't excuse some of the nonsense that he does either, right? So I just find it interesting that people don't have the ability to do that when it comes to their political candidate, because that works for both sides too, though, Phil. Because when our man Barry was in office, people excuse a lot of nonsense too.
Don't you dare say nothing bad about Barry. Yo, that's how it was though. Like, people would get mad. Like you wasn't black no more if you said anything about Barack, yo.
You listen, man. We got to be able to have these conversations. We got to just be honest with ourselves, man. Right is right and wrong is wrong at the end of the day. But this was amazing to me to see how Trump just moved on this, because it's like, it's very blatant, and like, I mean, it's just amazing that we live in a world where like something like this this is the kind of stuff you see in countries. Oh,
Trump took the condom off, yo. He's giving it to America raw, yo. He doesn't care anymore. He's like, yo, I'm in here. He's like, he literally, like, with every day, the more ridiculous stuff that he says that people allow him to get away with, he's feeling more and more untouchable. So he's just emboldened to do whatever. Like,
bro, I'm gonna give it to you. All right, here's my question to you though. Does he make it through 4 years?
I think he's going to. I think he's going to step on the wrong foot. He's going to step on the foot of somebody that had his back, that has muscle. Like James Comey didn't have the political muscle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, to fight back, we don't know because it just happened. But he's going to step on somebody. He's going to really be feeling himself, and he's going to step on the wrong toes, or he's going to say the wrong thing about actual big dog, somebody that actually moves the meters in Washington, and then it's all going to come out. Like, let's say, for example, like a Sheldon Adelson.
Yeah.
Like, if he gets on the wrong side of that dude, I could eat, or the Koch brothers. I could and I ain't talking about French.
You don't shout out to the Koch boys. You don't want to be on the wrong side, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely
like,
not.
They'll bury you. Yeah, man, but it's just crazy. It's crazy times that we're living in, man. And, I had to get your opinion on that because, like, as much as we talk about everything, man, that's crazy. But with that being said, man, we have a lot to talk about. So let's start and talk about what happened while you were on the ground, which is brought to you by DirecTV. If you'd like a better TV experience than cable has to offer, which includes the NFL Sunday Ticket, go to WarRoomSports.com, click on that DirecTV logo, and you can get the hook up from there. But it's definitely time to talk about what happened while you were on the grind. Yeah, man. Here's the thing, man. This segment, typically keep it known for a lot of JoJo awards and a lot of this is the ratchet part of our show, so to speak. But man, this story right here, it kind of like affected me, right? ESPN's Chris Berman, his wife died in a car accident. Yeah, and that's touching to me, just because, like, say what you want about Chris Berman. I know a lot of people think that he's a hack and his shtick is over and old, but we literally grew up to Chris Berman. Like, guys like Stuart Scott and Chris Berman are part of our childhoods.
Absolutely.
And when you see someone lose their significant other, boy, as men of our age, that has a different meaning these days. You think what I'm saying? So,
no doubt.
Salute to Chris Berman, man. Rest in power to him. To his family, and
can definitely condolences.
The support that he gets, like, within the sports world too, that shows you, like, what kind of person he is as well. Yeah, I saw all the different tweets.
Some of the stuff that we say in our everyday lexicon, like me and Vada, we've talked about this on numerous occasions. No matter how you feel about them, like stuff like nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills or Ricky running waters. I mean, like, some of these things, I still call the boy, if I don't call him for who for what, I call him Ricky running waters, just off the strength of Chris Berman. I mean, just,
You know what's crazy about that? It's crazy because, like, we see everything that ESPN is going through now as media is just like, changing before our eyes. I kind of feel sorry for these kids who don't get that because I don't see them connecting with ESPN that we did. Now, granted, I'm an old dude, so I remember, I can't say I was there when it started, but I remember when ESPN became prevalent and became like a part of pop culture in everyday life. So I remember
we in the same era.
Yeah, so I remember how it affected culture and affected how we talked and everything like that. And I don't see these people having that. Like, who's the young Keith Olbermann? Who's the young Dan Patrick or Stuart Scott? I mean, I guess shout out to Mike and Jamel. They're people. I guess for some people, they're, but
it's not the same because they're so interchangeable. Like you have like 30 different people doing Sports Center, and like in our era, it may have been like 5 or 6. It was like the dudes all during the week at 6, the dudes at 11, and then the weekend. And you really got to grow with them and learn them and build with them.
Got to the point with Patrick and Olbermann that I would watch and didn't care about the sports. Like their chemistry.
Oh yeah, I'll be watching tennis.
In the bars they spit had me in tears. Like literally, like the greatest entertainment. Like them two together, their chemistry is phenomenal. But I just I'm wondering now who does the mumble rap generation have to look at like that?
I don't even know, man. Because it's so. I mean, I guess Mike and Jamel are the closest thing to that somebody that they can relate to. And even though we couldn't necessarily relate to Dan Patrick, I mean, there's nothing in common other than sports with him. He made himself relatable through sports. He made himself almost like a fixture in our cribs because of sports. Like, when you hear Way Downtown Bang, I mean, how many times have you been on the court and you threw up a 3 and you said that before you ain't even before it even touched anything? Way Downtown Bang.
Just a bit outside. Listen, but that's why when Stuart Scott came on the scene, it was so powerful for us too. I remember like being in college and watching Stuart Scott and be like, yo, this boy is like spitting tribe lyrics on Sports
Can
Center.
I kick it?
You know what I mean? Like, so, listen, man, I just want to send a condolences to Chris Berman and everything he's going through, man. But he's definitely been a fixture in our lives. Man.
And real quick, Jim, I gotta give a quick shout out to the Sports Reporters, man. They had their last episode Sunday, and I don't know if you watch Sports Reporters, but my uncle who's like my pop, he basically sat me down on the couch on Sundays. It's like, yo, look at this and learn something. And I watched it I didn't watch it from the very beginning, but I watched it. They were on 30 years, and I was there for about 26 of them Jones.
Listen, man. Listen, man. Man, you get me in my bag now talking about those old shows. Listen, I go back to Firestone, man.
Oh, yo, remember when the boy took over for Roy Firestone and he kept calling Jim Everett Chris?
Yeah, Chris Everett. Yeah.
Rome he was about to follow Jim Rome. Yeah. And so Charlie Firestein.
Yo, Charlie Firestein with the he used to be dying laughing on the Sports Center. He's a boxing guy, but yeah, man. So salute to all the OGs from the 4 letters, man. That entire organization is going through a lot of changes. It's interesting to see from a business perspective, and also like I love business history, and I guess we'll talk a little bit about that as well later on in the show. But I read that long book that Des was reading for about 6 years about the ESPN history. But it's just crazy to see them get to that point, and then like the disruption that's going on in the marketplace. We'll see what happens long term. But anyway, man, rest in power to Chris Berman's wife. And salute to Chris Berman and everybody over there at 4 letters. Next story we got to talk about, man. These 2 guys have been talked about all basketball season. One is who I'm calling our MVP, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant. Now, the word this week is they're back on speaking terms. Their OG called them and was like, yo, y'all got to work this out. But what you think about that, man? When you think about their reconciliation, is this a story or a non-story or what?
Somewhat a story. I think it is just because they pretty much were together from the beginning. They both got drafted by Seattle/OKC, and you know they grew up together, and like the way they parted ways was kind of whack. No, not kind of whack. It was very whack. Instead of just being about it and just being like, yo, I gotta move on, yada yada yada. I think they would have been able to deal with it a lot sooner. But the fact that, like, I'm surprised. Well, I guess Golden State don't really have nothing to do now. You know what I mean? So they chilling right now. So I guess this is the perfect time, because I was gonna say this seemed like something that would happen in the off season, but I guess for the Dubs, it is off season right now, and then you already know OKC, they went fishing a little while ago. So
yeah,
it's good. Them dudes should be friends, man, because at the end of the day, life is bigger than basketball. So
facts.
And the reason for their beef is a minimal one, because to keep it real, Russ wanted his own team anyway. And I mean, he wanted to be this dude. Now, of course, he'd rather have like the kind of shooters like James Harden got, you know, and they might have went a little further. But this is what he wanted. If he was being 100% honest with himself, he wanted to be this dude in this position.
Right. Here's what's interesting, right? I kind of agree with that. And I also think about like sports in general, how with free agency and all these things going on, that like anybody, everybody's out for their own self-interest. But at the same time, I was watching the Celtics reunion, and whether you believe them or not, they said their biggest gripe with Ray was he just did it and didn't call him and talk to him. Yo, this is the move I'm thinking about making. And he probably did that because he didn't want them to try to talk him into doing something else. But I think that's what Westbrook has said as well, is the communication was terrible. And what I find interesting about this whole situation is that meme that's floating around, because I never thought about that. It was a picture of Harden, Westbrook, and Durant, and it says, in the future, people going to Photoshop. The fact that they had those three on one team, nothing ever came of it, that's an amazing 30 for 30 waiting to happen.
Oh, I can't wait.
Those are three guys that go down as legends. You have three legends that were on the same team, very young. And, you know, I mean, they almost got it done, but they didn't. But it's just interesting to see how this whole story plays out. I know people now are like, oh, they're talking. They're going to end up back on the same team again. Like, yo, cut it out.
Yo, and peep the narrative how that GM still gets celebrated while my man Sam Hinkie is in the win, yo. Like, they faded him to Bolivian with Mike Tyson in the Pigeons, yo.
Yo, free Sam Hinkie, man. Sam Hinkie's a legend, man. Sam Hinkie, holla at us. We at the Plaza Hotel.
Trust the process.
We got love for Sam Hinkie in the War Room, man. Sam Hinkie is a War Room legend, man. So,
yo, I didn't have love for him at first, but I've come to respect his hustle and his, like, especially if this thing actually ends up being what he envisioned. Now that will be the 30 for 30 I want to see. Yeah, because he's fleecing cats. You know what I mean? and stockpiling picks, and like, if you played well in one game, you had to leave because you was going against the process. You know what I mean? He got a first round draft pick for Michael Carter Williams, who can't outplay me, yo. And I'm 5'4", yo. He can't outplay me. I'm gonna be off and try to argue us on this show, probably like episode 100 of yo. Because we on episode like 370, whatever it is. Like, stunting. We've been around that long. But listen though, Michael Carter Williams was B. Austin's guy, and he was B. Austin's guy because he was putting up ridiculous numbers. But them Jones were so empty. My man would have the most emptiest 29-8 in the world. Like, just were empty stats for a losing team. But I saw a Sixers game one time, and they moved the vendors down so that it could look like it was people in there. Like they got the vendors out. It's like, yo, hot dog man, yo, get in this front row seat. You know what I mean? So it can look like we got people in here. Yo, man. It's crazy. But anyway, man, we'll see what happens with this whole Westbrook and Durant story. Whether it is still a story in years to come, who knows? Speaking of soft agons, Dwight Howard, he was pulled over. Yeah, he was soft. He was pulled over for speeding hours before Atlanta's Game 6 elimination. But here's the kicker, though. It said the boy had a suspended registration and didn't have insurance on his whip. Huh? His face says he's an idiot. He has an idiot face. Like, just look at him. He looks like a goofball. But his actions demonstrate that to be a reality. Like, yo, you're a multi-millionaire many times over, and you don't have insurance and proper registration on your car. Come on, dog.
Yeah, he doesn't make great decisions. What's crazy about Dwight Howard is the narrative on him is completely shifted, and deservingly so. He hasn't lived up to the potential or the flashes that he showed. Because as much as I talk greasy about Dwight Howard, that one season he had Atlanta, when they went to the finals, I thought he was the second coming of Shaq. He was playing his tail off. I mean,
like I couldn't believe it because I had been clowning him, and then everybody that ever remembered me clowning him, they was like, yo, what about now? And I was like, yo, I don't know. I was like, I'm just as surprised as y'all are. But
what happened? Because I don't even see the effort. Is it a physical thing where he has ailments and things bothering him, or what happened?
I honestly believe he doesn't want to play basketball. I don't think he cares about the sport of basketball to the point where exerting that kind of effort that it takes to be that great.
Yeah.
I don't think he really wants it. I think he's cool getting the paychecks because, I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, if they're going to give me the money, I'm going to take it. Yeah.
It's interesting you say that, right?
I don't think he wants it.
It's interesting you say that because shout out to everybody in our group chat. I was talking earlier about how I watched that documentary finally, the Lenny Cook documentary.
Oh, yeah.
And, I knew his story. I've read it, but I finally got a chance to watch the documentary. And me and Devin had a conversation because he said he watched it a couple times. But it's interesting because he says something at the very end of the documentary which pretty much sums up the entire thing when he says, I never really loved basketball. I just loved what it could do for me. And I was like, damn, that's powerful because that shows why he, his situation is what it is. But it made me think there's probably so many people across the world who are in the hood or wherever they may be that have tremendous talent but don't care. And I was telling Dev, I was like, there's probably cats in the league like that too. We have this thing where we assume that everyone cares the way we care or the way we feel they should care. But there's proof out there that cats
never
don't.
been like that. In fair or unfair, I look at dudes and be like, yo, this dude could care less about winning. I know people always get on me. I believe that about Carmelo. I don't think Carmelo cares about winning at all.
Listen, man, I'm not gonna get into that debate with you because we can debate that. But all I'm saying is, it'd be naive to think that everyone cares the way we think they should.
No Carmelo slander.
What up, B? But listen, it's one of those things where it's one of those things where it's like I want to believe that you have an opportunity to play a game of amusement and feed your family and feed your family's family. So it's like you.
But it's regular to them because they've been that good for most part for their entire life. I mean, up to that point. So it's normal to them. They don't expect anything less. You guys have talked about athletic entitlement many times, and part of that is taking a game of amusement for granted, getting paid millions of dollars for a game of amusement.
I guess that's when you get the LeBron Jameses, when you find someone that has the natural and physical ability and cares enough, right? But the question is this though, and I pondered this question after watching this documentary too, because this is an age-old question, and I don't know whether there is a right answer to this. Is would you rather have someone with talent or someone that work hard?
Both.
I'd rather have somebody that work hard.
My man said both. That's not the question, B. It's which one if you only had to choose one.
I'd rather have somebody that work hard.
I get where you're coming from, so I'm going to try and answer the question, but I got to give context. It's a lose-lose because you can't win without talent and you can't really win without work ethic. So you can't win. That's a can't-win situation.
Yeah, but sometimes you'll have someone who's so talented that the fact that they don't work hard will be disguised. And some people say LeBron has done that in the past. But now, and that's not LeBron slander. I'm saying people have said that, right? Because to fulfill your point is you rather have somebody that works hard. Sometimes you can work as hard as you want and you just don't have enough talent, a la Tim Tebow.
True. Let's be
Jimmy,
clear.
Can I throw us under the bus real quick for a second, Phil? And really, this is all three of us because you included in this. I don't believe that LeBron has no work ethic. I believe he works. He just doesn't work to the standard that we hold him to because we compare him to sociopaths, and maybe he's not sociopathic. Maybe he's not as nuts as Mike and Kobe are. Mike and Kobe are the standard that we kind of talk, and to a lesser degree than Magic and Bird, and those guys were obsessed with their craft.
Absolutely.
I think LeBron work hard, but I don't think he's obsessed with basketball.
Or
same way
this statement I'm getting ready to make, I know B. Austin relates to this because we've talked about this on videos on our YouTube channel. Off air, we talk about this a lot. And sometimes people get pissed when we say this. We talk about how Shaq didn't work hard for the most part of his career. And
you stole my thunder, yeah.
Go ahead. Those 3 years when he decided to work hard, he was the most dominant player in the world, and it wasn't even close. Like, when he decided, like, yo, I'm going to work out, the boy dominated basketball and won MVPs and won final MVPs and the finals and all that, and then went back to his habits and said, I got injured on the clock, I'm going to rehab on the clock. Like, so
can I ask you a question? Because you used that point, and I agree with it. I 100% agree with it. But there's certain things, and we may be nitpicking the point, but there's certain things that I see LeBron do in games, i.e. quit and run away from the moment, that I never really saw in Shaq. If we're talking work ethic off the court, then I 100% agree. But I've never seen Shaq shy away from the moment.
And I know where you're going with that.
Moment.
No, he doesn't, because here's the thing about it is LeBron loves to win. Shaq hates to lose. And that's the difference. Like, Shaq had an attitude, even when he wasn't giving it his all.
Yeah.
The greatest players hate to lose.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, if LeBron, I mean, at this point, I think he does, because he's put himself in a position at this point where he's literally, like, he's not facing the Warriors this year. He's fighting ghosts at this point. I think he knows that, so I think he's in a different place.
We being totally objective, then we got to throw the God in there, too. The lesser God, AI. AI hated to lose. AI didn't give two F's about working out in the off season, but he would give you his life's blood not to lose. I feel like, to an extent, you can get on Shaq for not taking his craft serious, but Shaq hated to lose. And I think AI hated to lose. LeBron is like both. It's like, you're right. He loves to win for what it does for him. We talked about it off. It's a combination of loving the feeling of winning, but it's also loving the perks. Versus guys that just hate to lose. They just
let me give y'all a different example.
Go ahead,
like,
Phil.
All right, so to give you like kind of both ends of the spectrum, the guys like we're just gonna assume that guys in the league in all sports leagues have some level of talent, obviously varying degrees. But you take somebody like Shaq or Randy Moss, who are supremely talented. I believe 100% Randy Moss is the most talented, physically gifted football player I personally have ever seen. That's what I believe. He didn't
never saw Bo Jackson? All right, cool.
I saw Bo Jackson, yeah. Of course I did. I'm saying we don't know what Bo would have did, on a long enough timeline, but that's neither here nor there. Randy, for my money, is the most talented, physically gifted dude. He didn't want it the way Jerry Rice wanted it, who wasn't as talented as Randy Moss, but he worked way harder than Randy Moss.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
With that.
I think if Randy worked like Jerry did, Randy would have blew his records out of the water.
Oh, of course. I believe that.
Randy was guys who was that kind of covers up the fact that he doesn't work hard because he's that talented.
But then on the opposite end, you have somebody like a Bruce Bowen or like a Derek Fisher who weren't the most talented dudes, but they worked so hard that it earned them, multiple championships and starting like long NBA careers to the point where they got some cachet because of.
I like the example, but can we chop off the dudes that ain't ish guys like Bruce Bowen and Derek Fisher are ain't-ish guys. Like, I want to talk about guys.
Exactly. I mean, but that's the point.
But I think that's the point, B. But hold on, hold on.
Careers out of being.
I want to put this point out there. I want to put this point out there real quick because B. I mean, we all poop on LeBron from time to time.
Leave my brother alone, Tom.
I will. But listen, though. So here's what I want to say about LeBron, though, and I've thought about this because when I watch LeBron play now, I think that LeBron is a different person now than he was before, and also it made me think about the fact that he's kind of growing, and pause. But another thing is we can compare him to Mike Kobe. We actually never seen anything like LeBron. Like LeBron coming into the league had the hype machine. Kobe didn't have the hype machine. Kobe didn't go to college either, but the hype machine was nowhere near what it was on LeBron. I mean, LeBron already had a Hummer to pay back. He already had a car on a Hummer when he come into the league from high school because, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like the hype that was on him, ESPN followed him around.
He
and
got
for him
beat
to
for their money.
He lived up to it, right? So
absolutely.
And he was battling ghosts from. I mean, we were all witnesses, right? So.
Jim, I know you don't like this, but we've seen it before. We've seen LeBron before. He's a bigger, stronger, faster version of Magic. He is Magic Johnson. He's just bigger,
but not the hype.
Yo, but not the hype though. I think that LeBron is like
the hype. No, of course not.
I think LeBron is
the hype didn't even. It didn't exist.
But that's what I'm talking about. LeBron, in terms of a player, is a hybrid of like Michael and Magic. As crazy as that sounds, because some people will argue that Michael and Magic are the two best players ever. He's like sort of like a hybrid of that. He's not from here.
Nobody argue that.
No, I've seen it argued. I mean, I can name people that are on TV every day that argue that. Yeah,
it's been argued. I don't necessarily agree, but it's been argued.
I watch Cowherd every day say that those are the two best, and that now he's trying to put LeBron above everybody. But people do make that argument. But my point is this though. The point I was making is the hype machine. Magic the hype because he won a national championship and all that. He went to LA and all that. But LeBron behind him that told us that we were witnesses before he stepped on the court. They told us we were witnesses, man. Like he had the hype machine behind him.
Remember the Sports Illustrated cover?
Sports Illustrated proclaimed him the chosen one while he was in high school.
They blasphemed for LeBron.
So my thing is the fact that when you factor that in, though, B. Austin, you got to give him props. You got to give him his props.
I don't think any athlete has ever had more pressure on him than LeBron. As far as a hype standpoint.
I agree with that, and I have a long and storied history of taking shots at LeBron. And I do that for a couple of reasons. One is because
you're a Mike fan. That's why.
I no. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with
because you're not going to admit that. It's literally the same reason that you in the beginning of Kobe's career, you put on Kobe.
I'm objective.
I'm a Mike fan too, but some stuff is just
I said stan, not fan.
I've been accused of being a stan.
I hate LeBron's generation. What his generation stands for is what I hate, and he's the poster boy for it. He's the poster boy for getting tattoos as a man on your backside. He's the poster boy for men wearing blouses and pocketbooks to the arena. He's the poster boy for it's too hard. I need help. Let me play with my AAU buddy. But him personally, I can admit that he's the best player in the world and has been for at least a decade, and he's been through something that we have never seen before in terms of the hype machine. In terms of the hype machine, no one ever so as history moves on and the further away we move from him coming into the league, even after he retires, when you look at it objectively, LeBron's got to be top, pick a number. Pick a number. Like he's got, because he's lived up to the hype. Like he's one of the few people. If you want to be completely he's lived up to the hype. He delivered. I can't ever
after last year
because here's the thing, right?
Anybody.
Jordan cast a shadow over the entire game of basketball, right?
Absolutely.
So the thing about Kobe, right? When Kobe came into
God
the
has
league,
a tendency to do that in all things.
See what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Here's the point I'm trying to make. When Kobe came into the league, he didn't get the Jordan comparison. The Clay went out there and tried to like mimic everything Mike did down there, walking and chewing his gum.
You're always going to be like your dad, Bill.
But here's my point.
They treated him like another. They treated him like another Messiah. We've seen that before.
But my point is this, though. My point is, you've had the Harold Miners, the Grant Hills, all the guys, the Pennies that they, but LeBron is the only one. They called the boy Baby Jordan, for Christ's sakes. That's literally was his nickname.
His ball head.
No, that wasn't because his ball. I mean, Harold Miner was giving out buckets at a lower level. But here's my point, though. My point is, look, Harold Miner was giving out buckets, not in the NBA, though.
Harold Miner couldn't get a spot off Glenn Rice. I know.
Listen, man, you act like Harold Miner wasn't in college giving out buckets.
Harold Miner was putting in work in college.
I don't remember the ball in college, but go ahead, man. Make your point, man. My point is, that's a no-no.
The point is, that's because when Harold Miner played for USC, he was giving. That's why he was a first-round draft pick. He was giving out buckets.
That's where the Baby Jordan.
My man averaged 9.6 points. He averaged 9.6 per game
in the league. But that was my point. My point is, in the league, he didn't give out anything. But
he averaged 23.5 in college, though.
Yeah, he was that guy at USC. But that's neither here nor there, man. My point is, all these guys have been called the next one. LeBron is probably the only one that has lived up to. LeBron is definitely at the table of gods. We've never seen anything like it. And this whole conversation started because we're talking about the new generation in reference to, the old Superman, Dwight Howard, who's in my opinion, is the poster child for the new Agans in their sensitive ways.
I agree with that, but I think it's unfair because now we're comparing men and women. He's not a man.
And believe it or not, this is how the world works now. Durant is now the face of super teaming. It's not even LeBron.
Oh yeah.
He's the face of super team because he went to a team that set the record for the most wins, regular season wins ever, and he went there. That's why he's the face of super team. But let's be clear, who the original super team boy is LeBron. I mean, they literally had secret meetings about super teaming up before they did it.
Phil, we're going to keep it real. I'm going to lay it out on the line. Jimmy can co-sign. We've talked about it off air. I'm just going to lay it out. I'll probably get a lot of slander on Twitter for this. But I feel if there were more active fathers around, a lot of this stuff wouldn't happen. Like if your dad had dignity,
I guess
he's not going to let you go play with your friend. Like,
I guess it depends upon who your pop is. What if your pop is LeVar Ball, though?
But hold on. don't start with bull. First of all, we not. But you gotta look at those two dudes.
Yo,
to your point, B. Austin might have something because neither of those dudes had active fathers. I mean, so there might be a point to.
All right, now I see Leroy in our chat talking about there were super teams in the '60s. Leroy, it was super teams in the '60s because it was 6 teams. We're talking about guys actually.
No, I've been on record saying there's been super teams in the 80s. Like the Lakers were a super team. The only difference is that players now have the control versus the owners had the control then, and they made the trades. Like the Lakers didn't draft that '87 Lakers team that was so great. They didn't draft all of them. They used to fleece cats in trades. Same thing with Boston. Because some teams didn't even care about winning. It was just like owners were happy to have teams get that cash. They wanted a stack of honey.
Like, you want this first round pick? Give me a bag.
And that's exactly like
bag.
Robert Parrish.
I break this down to the very essence of the game of basketball, which we can relate to as playground participants. Some of us playground heroes. When you go to the court and you see the dominant players getting off, you're either one of two types of people. Either you want to get on the team that's dominating and super team, or you want to say, no, I can beat them dudes by myself. You're only one of two types of person and player. And now
hold on. I gotta add a third type in too, B. Austin. You've never traveled with your homies to a court and y'all looking to run against other cats. Like, we've done that. And shout out to the AN1 tournament.
Yeah, you can do that. You can be that. But Jim, that's still me and my guys. We want to play the best. We don't want to add anybody else. I don't count that. That's not the same as looking to avoid competition. These dudes are looking to avoid what the game is built on.
But
the reason the league is trash
weren't
is
Shaq
because
and Kobe's Laker teams, weren't they super teams?
Competition.
I mean,
none
of those dudes got drafted by the Lakers, except for Derek Fisher.
I mean, well, Kobe got traded.
No, he didn't get drafted. He got traded to them.
I mean, on draft day, that's still drafting. Essentially, if I trade the pick with you and you say you're drafting for me,
that's what you call
Jerry West for doing his job. Salute to Jerry West for doing his job.
For me, Phil, that's not the same though, because Kobe's never put on a Charlotte or jersey in his life. So for me, that's a little different. Like, sometimes the draft, you're drafting for someone else when you make the pick. But my point is,
because he didn't decide to go there, that makes it different.
I mean, the fact that you've never played it, you got traded like John Elway, didn't go play for the Colts, but they, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, anyway, with all that being said, here's the point I was making, B. Austin. I was just saying there's a third type cat that travels with the squad and wants to play other people. And essentially that's kind of what they did. But I mean, it is what it is. Super teaming is what it is, man. But I'm just saying he's not the face of it anymore, regardless of what you think about what he did. KD is not a face of it because of the way he did it.
Yeah,
and also
definitely
the face is important. Shout out to LeVar Ball.
And also to LeRoy, we're talking about guys meeting up and deciding themselves, which I have no problem with either. You know what I'm saying? They taking their control. It's sort of like kind of the what's going on with this whole sneaker argument that we're going to get to. But I'm going to make the analogy because we're here now. When cats start taking control, Phil believes that when cats take too much control, it can ruin an industry. And essentially, guys are waking up and taking control in the NBA, which can ruin that.
See, that's not even what I said.
But you can clarify what you said when we get to where we're going to go. But the point is, Dwight Howard is a sucker. So I mean, that's kind of what this whole thing was about, right?
Pretty much. I mean, he's been a sucker for like a decade now, though. So that's not a new thing.
Oh,
just more of one.
General consensus. We had all of this conversation to come back around to all agree that Dwight Howard is the epitome of someone who should be in a pit of the unfortunate.
Yo, shout to Nas. I mean, tossed in a pit of unfortunate. But anyway, anyway, my point is though, he's a sucker. So let's move on to sucker behavior. Phil Matic, you are of the legendary.
Oh, hold on. How you gonna say sucker behavior and then say Phil Matic? That's what we
No. You didn't let me finish the sentence.
That's what we not gonna do.
You didn't let me finish the sentence, man. I was actually giving you props before you cut me off. I said you are of the legendary Tissue and the Tape podcast. Within hip hop culture, we had some sucker behavior this week. We had Shad Moss, who got caught in another stunt, man. He got caught out there, man. I have my own theory behind this, but we got you here in the war room. You are the hip hop guy. What's going on with Shad Moss, man?
Hey, Agnes Bow Wow every day, B. Just yo, Instagram is the home of the Shad Moss isms. Like that's what people do on, so I'm not surprised. He just got caught. Like I think he wants to put out that image that he's still, of a certain stature in the hip hop community, and people don't care about him. So like he's trying to make himself relevant by stunting with G4s and car service.
Yo, it's time to get a job, Dad.
He has a job.
He got a job. He's getting money. The thing is, he's getting money.
Yeah, he's getting money, but he wants the props from the community, from the culture, and they don't care about him. I don't care about him. The kids don't care about him. You know, when old dudes like me and young boys don't care about you, you're nobody. And that's what he is.
Shad don't bust his gun.
But here's my thing, though.
For him.
I got a theory about this, man, because he hangs in a circle full of dudes that always get caught fronting, man. And I come to believe that they're trolls and they're doing this on purpose. Like, you have to – I don't think that he really got caught fronting. I think that he did it on purpose. I think he does this on purpose. I really believe
You're giving the boy too much credit, man.
No, because, like, yo, for you to say you sit in a luxury box at a Falcons game and they're on a bye week.
Conspiracy theorist Jimmy is in the building.
I do that because when you look at his squad, they all do this. They all do this. Like, the thing about
maybe they all just liars, though. Like,
Bella has a TV show.
They're not smart. They're not smart like that, man. You giving them way too much.
No father.
I'm giving them credit. People troll every day.
So smart. If we can't understand dumb jigger behavior. We can't understand it. So we got
listen, man, because here's the thing that I recognize, man. I recognize that in this new generation, any attention is good attention, and they don't care whether you're playing them as long as you're talking about them. It's like when
shout out to LeVar Ball.
Right? He dances like that and acts a fool because he knows he's going to be mean. That video was one big meme, and he did it on purpose because the fact of the matter is, as long as they're making those memes, guess what they're doing? They're talking about him. This new generation just likes attention.
But he's not a new generation dude. Bow Wow.
That's who he's catering to. That's who he's catering to.
But that makes it worse because he's not.
You gotta understand, he's not really an old generation dude either. Because when he was in the old generation, he was like 6 years old. Yo, Bow Wow been in the game like 30 years, like 32.
If like Uzi did this or Lil Yachty, I'd be like, all right, they kids, whatever. You know, that's their generation. That's what they do. This dude has to know better. You talk about you've been around 25 years. I don't care when you started.
He's been around 25 years, and he's still younger than you. Bow Wow was on Snoop's album. He was like 6 years old. So essentially, he's still
that's true. Yo, that's true, but he's 30. Yo, he's in his 30s, B.
Yeah,
he's in his 30s.
Listen, man.
And he's been around all of this stuff for over 20 years. So he's grew up in this. Like, if anybody, like somebody like Drew Barrymore, who was like a star when she was like 4 years old, it was like smoking weed when she was 9. Like, if she was still the same person then that she is now, first of all, she'd probably be dead. Second of all, we'd be like, yo, what is wrong with this chick? Like, she grew up, she became a.
Here's the problem, though, Phil. Here's the problem. Here's the problem, man. New Aggin behavior isn't about your chronological age.
But he's not a new Aggin.
No, listen to me. Just listen to me for a second. It's not about your chronological age. I know 50-year-old new Aggins. You dig what I'm saying? When you damn near 40, you still running from cops. Shot the beans. Like, I know dudes that still act like new Aggins. I know more new Aggins.
Haircuts.
They get the new Aggin haircuts. They on Instagram taking selfies, and you know what I'm saying? Like, this behavior is a behavior. It's like a disease. It doesn't matter what your chronological age is. When you see the way he carries himself, he doesn't care. Like, people carry themselves a certain way, right? You know what I mean?
Yo, Phil, the only part of this I'm a co-sign. I do agree with Jimmy where it is a disease, and I have seen like old heads that's like we would call them old heads, 15, 20 years our senior, like wearing clothes where you could see their veins pop out and
young boys
getting dye in their hair. I've seen all of that, but what I'm not gonna do is give Shad the pass of being intelligent enough to do this, to draw.
But hold up.
For the sake
am I really
drawing.
giving him a pass and calling him intelligent? I'm calling him stupid when you think about it. I'm saying that he's of a certain age and he still wants to act like a child. That's not really giving him intelligence pass. That's actually dissing him when you really think about it. And furthermore, like, look at a guy like Joey Badass. He chronologically is a new Aggin, but he carries himself a completely different way.
He's a young OG, and Bow Wow is an old young boy.
There you go. That's the bottom line. That's what it is. So, and knowing that he's an old young boy, I feel like he does this just to get attention because the only reason we're on the War Room even bringing him up is because and the last time we talked about him was because he got caught fraud. You know what I mean? Yo, this is all Trump's fault. At the end of the day, this is all Trump's fault. Yo, because that's the way we live in, yo.
That's how I roll. Everything is Trump's fault. The way they blamed it on Barry, yo, everything is Trump's fault. I don't care.
Thanks, Trump.
It rained today when it wasn't supposed to. Thanks, Don.
Yeah. Yo, and I'm not even saying it on that note. I'm saying it in terms of, like, him getting the attention that he got. Like, that's what, as B.B. Austin say, moves the needle. That's what moves the needle. It's not about whether you're right, whether you're wrong. It's about whether people are talking about you. Sad.
Yo, family. We talked about a noodle too long, man. I'm losing cool points. I can't talk about Shad.
This is absolutely true, man.
Yo, his mom looked at him. His mom, deep down inside, his mom knew because she looked at her baby boy and said, "You look like a Shad." Come on, man. Let's go. Yo,
I just want to say that's the last story that happened while you were on the grind this past week. Oh, man. Listen, man. We about to jump into some hot topics real quick, which are brought to you by Audible. If your schedule is too hectic to read as much as you want, try audiobooks. Get a free subscription by going to audibletrial.com/warroomsports. Actually, get one free audiobook. Then you can decide whether you want to keep the subscription. Today, I was actually going back and doing some research, listening to the Phil Knight book. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Phil Knight is going to be on. He's part of sneaker culture as well as everything else. Yo, when do you sleep, beloved? But anyway.
I don't even know what that is, yo.
It's cousin of death. But I was listening to that. I'm also listening to the Tony Shea biography, the Zappos guy. So it's a lot of great stuff on Audible. audibletrial.com/warroomsports. Now, man, let's get into these hot topics, man. And one of the things we want to talk about, and, you know, Phil is on here. Phil is a definite sneakerhead. And for those who don't know, Phil has a gazillion pairs of sneakers. Matter of fact, you know what? I said this past week, I'm not calling you a sneakerhead no more. You're a Nike head because you be out here rumbling in the streets for Nike. So you're a Nike head.
Phil, no, I'm gonna tell you like this. This is the perfect way I can explain it. I love women. Women are awesome, but I'm married to the champ. You know what I mean? I love football. Love football.
Yo, but I just gotta tell you, dog. I just gotta tell you, I find it hilarious that you call your wife a champ. That is the most hilarious thing to me, yo.
Hey, man, it is what it is, yo.
I know. I respect it, but my question is, like, when you in the and like you want to call her upstate, champ. Is that what you said?
I like, yo, champ. Or if I want to get real, professional, I say, hey, the champ. Can you come here for a second? And, I mean, you got to call people by their full government sometime when you really mean it. So,
respect.
I mean,
respect.
But yo, I'm married to her, but I love women. I'm married to the gold-blooded Niner gang, SF the Death, gold-blooded. We'll see y'all soon. But I love football, so I am loyal. You know what I mean, me and Knight. We got a 26-year relationship, but I love sneakers. Period.
Yeah, I would go with that. Other than the fact that you don't own a pair of Adidas, how can you say you love sneakers and you don't own Adidas?
I do, and I got some JMJs, and then but I had several pairs. I had about over my career. Just so we're clear. Over my career,
I'm just gonna call him. I'm gonna call him on the carpet, Phil, because if you don't own at least four pair of Superstar 80s. Not the shell toes with the thick tongue they sell to these young bulls in Foot Locker now, but the Superstar 80s with the thin tongue. Yeah, no, not even the pro models. But if you don't own 4 pairs, I got to question commitment to the culture, dog.
All right, so look, at the height, I had 25 pair of Adidas, various types, Superstars, All-Stars, Stan Smith. My personal favorite is the top 10. I mean, that's my personal favorite Adidas, in various colors. But when I downsized, I mean, I got rid of everything that wasn't essential. So right now I got about I could go 2 years. I could go 2 years without wearing the same pair. So
all right, B. Austin, I don't know if you missed this part. This boy said, this boy said his sneaker career. So I don't have a sneaker. I don't have a t-shirt career. I don't even think I got an underwear career.
Let me explain a little bit.
Career.
No, not my sneaker collecting career. I'm talking about the sneaker collecting too, but as a person that actually copped and moved sneakers, like, similar to like a different kind of controlled substance. That's how I move sneakers. I moved them by a ton.
So you was having conversations with Pusha T and Don C and them. But only about sneakers.
A lot of those dudes may have, whether they realize it or not, may have got sneakers because of me. So I was that guy. So I would sell a lot of stuff wholesale to a lot of rich white kids that would never step foot in a sneaker store because they knew me, or more importantly, I knew them, and so they would pay the upcharge for whatever I was doing. So
when Phil walks into the sneaker store, the music changes and whatnot. Like, as soon as Phil opens the door, it just
yo. I go by the name. I'm Pharrell.
But at the most, at one given point, I had at the height probably about 11,000 pair per
Did you say 1,000?
Yeah, and then but it was just like because I had a job that allowed me to just really OD, and I did, and then I just sold all that stuff because it got to the point where I was just buying stuff just to buy it. You know what I mean? Just
all right, now here's
I
my
could.
question. I got a couple of questions for you on here because we brought you on because sneakers dominated the news cycle, which is amazing, by the way. Marketing by LeVar, the legend. But get your perspective on it from a sneakerhead because there's different perspectives in terms of in a team. Everybody's right.
And Jimmy, I'm gonna drop some bars on the business side of this too, because I definitely got some thoughts on the business.
Okay, now.
But go ahead.
Now
we gotta hear from
this. I just want to people understanding. I want to talk about this topic because I want to let people know how serious you are this culture. And you heard the man say 11 pairs of sneakers. My question is, what does the champ say about because you gotta take up a lot of space.
Well, at one point there was a room in the crib that was for sneakers. I think I posted some of the pics in the group chat. But yeah, there was a room in the crib that was the sneaker room. And let's be clear. I want to say, she's cool. She was cool with it because it was profitable for the family, and and the ones that I kept she could wear. So it is. I mean,
got you. Respect. So we wanted to let the people know just what sneakerheads you are before we get into this topic.
And hold on, Jim. Before you start, I wanted to just clear up one thing. I never said that LeVar Ball would ruin the sneaker industry. I said he would ruin my sneaker collection because he would be if he succeeds, he will be the catalyst for a whole bunch of dumbed down versions that are even worse than what he's doing as far as the actual sneaker itself.
It'll be like
a lot of corny sneakers coming out, and my collection would not be able to elevate because of the rash and run on lame sneakers. It's like when rap dudes started making clothes, then all of them started making clothes.
It'll be like the 90s hip hop clothing lines.
It'll be exactly like that.
Listen.
It would be exactly like that.
So you mean to tell me you never had no vocal?
We get it. When Blue Magic hit the street, and then
there's a whole bunch of stepped on.
Started
coming after it.
Yeah, a whole bunch of stepped on showed up. So we get it.
So that's exactly.
Phil, you never owned any.
Toe got you. Say that again.
I said you've never owned any vocal. I said you've never owned any vocal clothing line.
Yo, I haven't heard that name in like 2 decades, yo. No, that was Nelly Joint, right?
Yeah, Caltech.
No, absolutely not. Yo, Vibe might have. That's Vibe boy.
Yo, Vibe with Nelly?
Vibe bangs with Nelly, yo. That's not a secret. I'm not outing him. He says that.
No, hold on.
Nelly and Bob Banks.
Hold up. I gotta put this out there because me and Dev had a conversation this week about this. Nelly is like a guilty pleasure. I actually bang with Nelly too, but I never want to admit it. But the fact of the matter is, like in retrospect, like yo, I bang with Nelly, like, and I know he has 0 marks, but it doesn't matter.
There's some redeeming value in some of the Jones that he but
y'all both corny.
Yeah, for the most part.
But it's okay though. It's okay though. My man was cool with being corny. Like my man, he knew who he was, and I ain't gonna front. He kind of went at the legend hard though.
Oh no!
No, just why did he have a Band-Aid under his eye though? Can y'all explain?
Yo, he wore a Band-Aid for like 8 years.
Aim up our Mitch. All right, off in the show. But the bottom line is, we wanted to let the people know how serious you were about this sneaker game as we get into this conversation about the living legend, the visionary and icon known as LeVar Ball.
Why, man? Like, I don't like. He's not doing anything that hasn't been done before. He's not.
Now, who's done it then? Tell us.
Marbury had his own sneaker line.
No, but Marbury didn't come into the league out of college with his own line.
But see, here's the problem. First of all, neither is LeVar. LeVar's not coming out of college with his own sneaker line either.
Well, that's
the problem.
These are the ZO2s. ZO2.
First of all, he's selling the Kobe 8 is what he's selling. But that's neither here nor there. There's a such thing as the messenger. Like you can do a lot of things, but it's all about who delivers it. Like in the chat, I said there's a reason why Jackie Robinson was the first black player in Major League Baseball and not Josh Gibson. There was a reason.
No, I get your analogy because the same thing applies to Rosa Parks. You think she was the first person that decided she wasn't going to do a proceeding? Not at all.
But there's a way. There's a way that for what he's trying to do, and let's be clear, despite the fact that I don't really bang with dude for a lot of reasons, I want him to succeed, even though it's going to ruin my sneaker collection 100%. I want him to succeed.
Now here's the thing, right?
I absolutely do.
I
don't think he will because of his approach.
I've been putting a lot of thought into this, probably which is kind of ridiculous, the fact that I'm wasting brain cells on thinking about this sneaker, this whole story. But, it's kind of dominated the headline. So, therefore, I think about everything because I stay in my head. But I have some opinions on that, too. But I know B. Austin wants to talk about the business of it. Speaking of the business of it, before you tell us about the business of it, initially there was a rumor of almost 5,000 ZO2 sold in less than 24 hours. But that was debunked. It was a little over 200 plus sold. And people, the biggest problem with this is the price point. But as LeVar says on TV, MJ can't sell shoes for $500 because he ain't Lonzo Ball.
Which is wrong. That's another thing. Just the lies. I know facts don't matter in the Trump. And thanks, Trump. I know facts don't matter, but just last year, the Jordan 2 just died. Retail is $650. That's the retail. It resells for about $3,500.
Talking about coming in the league, not now and not retros, not the fact that Mike has his own little within a culture.
Well, you gotta look at the time that we're in. When the Jordan 1 came out, it was the highest price. It was by far. It was the highest price. It was only $100 when it dropped, but it was like $30 more than the next closest sneaker.
Well, let me ask you a question. I haven't done the math, and I don't know, I the CPI index or in my head and all that. So, what is that in today's money?
I'm about to tell you. $100 in 1985.
About 300.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's not even $300. It's $229.28.
Okay.
Is the exact amount that's the equivalent.
But now, just to play devil's advocate, that also had a proven brand behind it, saying like, you know.
Well, they were struggling at the time. Like, I mean, I know you read the book. They weren't the behemoth that they are now.
They're not. They weren't the behemoth, which is a lot of people credit Michael Jordan in becoming the behemoth because they were struggling, but they still were a proven commodity.
They
Like
were a
Blue
proven
Magic.
commodity. That's
So
fair.
that's the point.
Absolutely.
My man is doing this literally. There's no brand attached to it, right? So we know that the business has been debunked. Now, B. Austin, you said you had some thoughts about the business side of it. I'd like to hear what you think about the business side of this whole story.
Yeah, because I have a lot of reasons why I am anti LeVar Ball, not anti-black business, not anti-entrepreneur, but the way in which he's going about this, totally against it. And we can get
Absolutely.
into that at a later date. In fact, I think we should do we'll do a few good minutes. You know, we haven't done one of those in a while. We'll sit at the round table and we'll chop it up with a couple sneaker experts and sneaker heads on this because it is a hot topic. But getting to the business side of this, so when you have, first of all, sneakers have become a commodity. Do we agree that
Absolutely.
sneakers have become a commodity?
I expect still to see nothing less. But go ahead, though.
The thing that makes them attractive to sneakerheads and people in sneaker culture is when they can get something that is identified as a commodity, but it's so rare that it's considered precious. So commodity and precious, if you understand it in terms of business, is at the opposite end of the spectrum. To commoditize something means it is in mass, it's used in mass, and therefore it's produced so that it becomes a resource, right? So everybody needs shoes on their feet. Everybody needs sneakers on their feet. This
Correct.
guy has completely ignored the market that you build from in the sneaker business. You have to be able to treat sneakers as if they're a commodity so that you gain market share with their affordability. You can make them a little high end. You can price them at $150. You can price them at $120. You could even price them at $180. That is affordable for the average mother and father, the average single mom, the average high schooler who wants to save his allowance, lunch money, and get a little bit of, something from his Kentucky Fried Chicken job, or maybe he's moving a couple trees with his fellows on the block, re-up an ounce quarter at a time, and he can go and cop. When you come into the game at $500, you've already knocked off 99.5% of the market. Puma stat, but check it out, though. I think it's close to correct.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have to talk about the cost of delivery. Manufacturing, so supply chain, right? Manufacturing, if it's going to be mass-produced, it's going to be mass-produced in China or India. Shipped here, delivered to a warehouse, trucked to stores. Retailers have to buy it and then stock it on their shelves. That, in and of itself, is going to cost so much because economies of scale, he's an independent company, it's going to cost him $80 to $100 per unit to create it. Now, you're thinking, okay, it's $100 and he's selling it for $5. So there's a $400 spread or margin. No matter what, his competition is creating sneakers, no matter what they price them at, below $30 a unit. He can't compete as a small business with a cost that's literally 3 to 4 times higher than those he's competing against. It just doesn't work.
A couple questions.
He's not going to be able to sustain his supply chain and his manufacturing to keep it going. And that's where the problem is going to be. And then he's not going to be able to follow it up He's not going to be able to follow it up with a release that's going to create the same demand. So even if the first unit moves and the second unit moves, where is the sustainability? Where is the marketing dollars behind it?
I have a couple questions based upon what you say, just playing devil's advocate, hearing what you're saying, and because I put so much thought into this, right? Is he now, I look at Starbury, right? How was Starbury able to get his costs to where he got them? And why can't he kind of follow suit in terms of getting his costs down? Even if his costs are high now, and I have no idea what his costs are. I don't think any of us actually know what his costs are. Why wouldn't he be able to kind of take that model?
No, that's a great question. So Starbury did two things. Number one, he didn't do anything in terms of the design. He went to a company that had a stock, basically a stock product. Said, hey,
it looks like Bar did too, though. It looks like Bar did too.
I have a following. We're going to stamp my brand on it, and we're going to move shoes because of my brand. And he was already in China, and he was already linking up with the people in manufacturing that were in China that have the ability to produce these things at literally, I don't know exactly what Starbury's costs were, but if I had to guess, he was producing a pair of shoes for less than $3.
Now,
so
and he already had a name, and he already had a cachet.
Here's my thing, though. My thing. The world is smaller now, also. So those same connections can be made for LeVar, like especially with people behind. When I say behind him, I don't mean financially. People want him, so he can probably get his costs lower. That's on the one. Also, two, you say what comes next. I thought about this when I'm thinking, all right, so what if his approach was to come up with this astronomical price?
Make it exclusive and then dumb it down and release something.
And then dumb it down to double his dollars. But this is
what I was saying, Jim. It doesn't work like that. Like with the and I know this is, somewhat uncharted water, but like if I'm in his position, I bring out that same exact shoe. I bring it out for $150 to $170. I actually price it below what the average 180 to 220 is, but I do special editions of that same exact shoe. So then you can give those other versions some kind of actual cachet. So you can say, all right, because with sneakerheads,
now, but hold on though, Phil, I hear what you're saying, but if he does that, we're not talking about him. The only reason this became news and dominated the news cycle is because who the hell does he think he is to do this, right? For me,
we still talking about a black man. Listen,
the price is what we're talking about. If he doesn't price it to $4.95,
if he brings that out at an affordable price, no matter what we say is
listen, Jim.
He's moving 10,000 of those shoes at $150.
No, but
it does. If he brings
it doesn't matter what I say or Phil says. He's moving 10,000 units at $150 a pop.
He is
at $500 a pop.
All right, but you're not. You're not. Let me speak for a second. What I'm saying is the hype that he's built. The hype that what I'm saying is the hype that he's built would cost the other companies billions of dollars to do. Like he literally that Sports Center while the NBA playoffs were going on. The hype that he's generated now, what does that translate into in sales? Not much. But my question is, if he comes back with something else that is more affordable when he has this many people that want him to win, why wouldn't he still be able to sell? Because the fact of the matter is these sneaks don't even get released till November. At this point, it's all about the hype. Then when the draft comes out, you never know what will happen. My point is that you can't come in price point and then elevate higher. It kind of doesn't work that way. Like if for argument's sake, okay, so if Payless made a $300 sneak right now, would anybody buy it?
Of course not.
If who?
But if Gucci made a $100 shoe, would people buy it?
Yeah, because they want those double G's.
But that's my point. You can go one way, you can't go the other way.
Compare BBB to Double G. Come on, that's
no, but I can give you a gazillion examples in business where you can start a price point high and come down. It's difficult to start low and go up. You can't do it.
But in this culture, you can if you make it exclusive, like be Austin's point earlier.
In a sneaker game, 150 to 200 is high. He could have started there, and he's capturing a lot.
He wouldn't
more
have gotten the attention, though. He wouldn't have got.
All right, Jim, peep this, because this is what I was getting to. He could have still got the same attention if he strictly said, "We're going to release right off the bat. We're going to release the Zo 2, whatever it's called. 150 is the price point, but we are releasing 25. What number does Lonzo Ball wear?
It doesn't matter. He wears number 2, which is why there's Zo 2. Because what I'm saying to you is, if he announces that, it makes the news for one day, and no one's talking about it after that. If you release it as part of the story.
So Jimmy, you think it's the price of the sneaker that's driving the interest, or is it him shucking and jiving? So it's not his personality.
The actual price. I think it's the price, but the thing about it is he came on after the fact with his thing. Because let me finish. When he announced the price of the sneaker, he wasn't on TV for a while. It took him days and maybe close to a week later for him to come on about it. People were talking about the price. The actual price. If he doesn't charge $500, you're talking about
he could have still led with the $500 sneaker.
It's not the same story though. The story is over at that point. The story really isn't him. The story is the fact that who does he think he is to charge $500 for this shoe? The price is the biggest part of this story. Even when we talk about it, a lot of people say, "What do you say?" I don't have a problem with what he's doing. It's the price. That price is everything. Without that price, this isn't the story that it is. I don't care how you want to strategically say, "I'm going to release it at this price and not at that price." I'm not saying that I agree with what he did.
The average American is going to spend $500 on footwear, or
absolutely
they're more likely
not.
to spend $180.
Absolutely not.
$180.
And he's not going to get the sneakerheads because if all the shoes are $500, there's no exclusivity to the shoes. That's my point.
But you're not listening to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I think the strategy is. Only time I will tell. Who knows? Because if they're all $500, right? Like in the the thing we always talk about, the market will tell you whether it works or not. So if they're all $500, and what I think, B. Austin, to be honest with you, is this isn't about building a long, sustaining business. This is about betting on your son for a couple years, because if his son comes in and shows out, I think it's now time when you go back to the big boys and say, now you're going to partner with me.
Hey,
that's just my speculation.
Absolutely.
That's my speculation. That's my speculation.
I agree with that much. But the problem with that logic is, by your mouth and your shucking and jiving, you set the bar so high for your son to perform that he's damn near it. He's going to have to be LeBron-esque in order to live up.
I don't know about that though. I don't think so. I think worldly living is different. I think that he has a great.
We're gonna come up with an excuse. Anything short of LeBron.
I think he's gonna have to be LeBron-esque because he has zero personality as a human being. There's nothing there.
It devalues.
I disagree with that because.
And
also with the whole
people are going to expect my man to come out and average 25 a game. If Ball comes out and averages 16 a game, 5 assists, we know that that's a hell of a season for a rookie point guard. But guess what? People are going to say, he's not as good. That devalues your product. And as you say, he already doesn't have much of a personality. How are you going to sell something when the market is looking at you like you're a flop? Whether that's realistic or not, it's going to devalue what you're able to sell, especially if you don't got personality.
Image is everything on the mic.
Yeah, but at the same time, you put up 16-5 as a rookie playing for the Lakers. You put up 16-5 playing for the Suns. Those are two different 16-5s, even though it's the same 16-5. if you catch what I'm saying.
So
now,
you saying they going to engineer it so that he's on the Lakers, right?
I mean,
that's
Magic
the
said
only
he
way
already
that
got
this
the pick.
might possibly work.
Magic
But
said he got the pick already.
No.
Let me ask you, Jim.
I see him going to the Lakers. I see
Jim,
him going to the
let me ask you this.
That's fine. But, yeah.
Y'all ever played Neo Geo?
No, but I know it's a video game system. I get your point, but I don't get your point.
All right, no. Here's the point. Neo Geo came out the door very at the height of Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. They came out the door. Actually, better graphics, a better actual system, but the price point was $650 at a time where the average console was $150 to $250. My point was nobody bought it. Nobody bought it. Nobody knew how great it was because nobody ever bought it. Because they didn't have a cachet. They didn't have
Did Neo Geo follow up with Did Neo Geo follow up with the version that was more affordable?
Neo Geo never got the chance.
But did Neo Geo build the hype based upon that high price point? Was it talked about?
It built the hype upon that high price point, and then it was secondary to the fact that we have the better graphics, we have better gameplay than the other systems. They never got the chance.
No one's saying that the ZO2 is a better sneaker. It's never come about. We live in a different time. Like the thing about it is, like, I remember Neo Geo because at the time I really cared about video games. Right now I can really care less. But I mean, think about it. Like Neo now is, I'm looking it up now. Neo Geo still costs $800 and some odd as a collector's item. But the point is, that's not a great analogy and because of the timing. The fact that he said $495 is why this became a story as long as it did. If he had put it at a price point where the average consumer could buy it, it really wouldn't have been a story at all.
Yo, Jimmy, are you gonna sit here and act like the world wasn't talking about Lonzo Ball's antics prior to these sneakers? He wasn't a buffoon prior to the sneakers.
It didn't die down.
It did die down. Come on, man.
We was talking about a
argument.
But listen, here's the thing. Before he announced the sneaker, y'all don't understand. He's leading news stories. He wasn't talked about on SportsCenter at all at the time. They lost in the tournament, and that wasn't
about on SportsCenter.
They was talking about the coach getting fired and everything.
That was weeks ago.
Oh God!
You sound like Rick James.
I'm saying, first of all, we live in a 24-hour news cycle. Stuff changes like constantly, literally. But the one thing that's been around since this whole thing has started is talking about the sneak. Yo, the playoffs were going on, and they lead with the sneaker just because it cost $500. If the sneak was $1.25, it wouldn't have led before the NBA playoffs.
Phil, when did the news come out about the sneakers?
It was about a week ago?
Maybe. So what Jimmy is saying is that LeVar Ball wasn't in the news that heavy before a week ago?
He was not leading in SportsCenter at all.
Jim, I don't. Leading SportsCenter.
You're saying he was the leading story on SportsCenter and Good Morning America before the sneak drop? He was the lead story on Good Morning America.
I don't care. Well, I don't care about what SportsCenter is talking about, but that man was in the news for his antics long before this sneaker was announced. People were talking about his relationship with his sons. They were talking about his interference at their high school. They were talking about
the coach got fired.
Him trying to beat Jordan or saying that he could beat Jordan.
Him tearing down other players, great players.
That was during the tournament. What I'm saying is people weren't talking about him before the sneak. I mean, you're talking about last month.
Did this just so they would talk about him again? That's what this is about?
No, it's about getting attention. It sort of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. This is about hype. Yo, the sneaks don't even come out. Like all these orders, they don't even come out in November.
That's another point. There's so many sneakers that are coming out, and if he think he's going to, I know you guys aren't sneakerheads, but anybody that's ever purchased a sneaker in the last 5 years knows the fourth quarter for sneakers is insane. All the top sneakers that they're going to release for the year come out around Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yo, but
if
Phil,
you think
Phil,
he's going to release that sneaker in the fourth quarter,
even without us being sneakerheads, we're marketing guys. We know that consumer goods ramp up in the fourth quarter due to the holiday season. You gotta drop heavy Black Friday, Thanksgiving up to the Christmas run. So we know the competition is going to be
here it
fierce.
is. And this isn't just for sneakerheads. This is for every kid that has a wish list. Little kids that got they writing letters to Santa Claus, if they believe in that sort of thing. They know that the schedules are already
don't
out.
have no $500 shoes on for no regular
But the schedules are already out for all the major companies and the minor ones for what's coming out. There's no less than 35 to 40 shoes coming out in the fourth quarter that are less expensive and more sought after than the ZO2 or whatever the hell it's called.
You know what? The only thing I think Jimmy is hitting us with the BS, but the only thing I will agree with Jim is I do believe this is a short-term play to prove, just like in the music biz, if you can get 1 million followers or 1 million YouTube hits, then you can go and get a record deal. So he may not be trying to build a brand. He may be doing whatever is possible
asking price
to prove he can he can move numbers so that Adidas or Nike or Li Ning or whatever will come calling and cut him a real check. So I can agree with that, but I think that he's missing the mark in the way that he's going about this. So and I think that he's created enough buzz through his antics that
so all of this him building a self-made black business is all smokescreen or fodder. Then
no, not necessarily.
Because here's what he's not for black people. He's definitely not for black people. Like, we can kill that noise. That's not what he's about.
What's funny about this, and I know you're gonna take this all the wrong way when I say
black people, but I'm not surprised.
What's funny about this is, right, if you read history, right, you see that, and I'm not comparing him at all, but Muhammad Ali was talked about the same way. If people said he wasn't for black people and that he did shucking and jiving because he went and basically talked greasy about everybody else.
I didn't see anybody ever say that Muhammad Ali shucked and jived. I only saw him tear down black folks that didn't stand for the revolution, that didn't stand for fighting oppression. Like, that's the only thing I ever saw him say about tearing. Like, but what LeVar Ball does is diminish, demean, and disparage the accomplishments of others to draw attention to him. And then maybe some attention falls on his two boys. Like,
you're saying that now. I'm not comparing them. I'm not comparing them at all. But you're saying he didn't diminish and disparage the others to big himself up. That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. And other black men at that. That's exactly what he did. And if you read the press and media from back then, it's like, Ali didn't become this figure that he is now until he couldn't really talk anymore. Before then, a lot of black people didn't bang with Ali at all. They said that he was shucking Ali cooning because they felt he wasn't safe enough. So, and I'm not comparing the two, but I just find it interesting to see some of the rhetoric used around how this guy talks. Do I agree with everything he says? Absolutely not. But I don't agree with anything that everybody says at all. I think some of the stuff that Dr. King does is blasphemous. You know what I'm saying? Messing with that pork. But at the same time,
go ahead.
All I'm saying is what I do recognize about what he has done is I recognize by him drawing that he has with the price. I think that he's garnered more. There is not one Nike or Adidas that's being of a sneaker that we've literally never seen before. When you talk about sneaks right now, what'd you say?
No, I was like, here's the thing about that. Yeah, they don't have to do that because they have armies of, and this is what I was talking about before. There's literally, hundreds of thousands of kids that do that for them. They don't have. I
get that, but this is something new. It doesn't matter whether it's LeVar Ball or you that's starting. It's an uphill battle regardless of who it is. It's an uphill battle regardless of who it is. And to answer your question about whether his whole thing.
We didn't even get to the AAU circuit and how these companies use the AAU circuit to.
Me and Phil went through that the other day.
But I just wanted to say one thing about that because I wanted to be clear because I don't think it was clear in the chat. Like I understand 100% that sneakerheads as a whole group make up a very minute percentage of the market share, right around 1 to 2%. That as far as the total dollars spent on retail dollars.
I was about to say I don't even know if it's that high, but go ahead though.
No, it is. It is. Trust me. I went to a very 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 legitimate source on this one. It's about 1 to 2% retail. What my whole point to you in that chat was they are the ones that determine the trends that then are taken by the big companies, not just Nike, but all the big companies. Those big companies then take those trends and package them in their marketing plans to the masses. The masses say, oh, that's dope. And then they buy them for their kids or themselves or whatever. And those companies get their market shares from there. That was my point, that those people, the sneakerheads, are the ones that
you're calling them influencers. It's influencer marketing.
I think you missed my point. My point was no one said they didn't have an influence. Influence is something different. The bottom line is you have to have a product, right? And all I was saying is Nike's revenue isn't made up of that 1 to 2%. Nike's revenue is made up of little Johnny in Middle America that buys the sneakers. Like their revenues last quarter. Because I've been reading Nike 10Ks. I read them all the time, even though I am not a shareholder because that's a whole other story.
I am.
But I know that their revenues were up 5% to $8.4 billion for the last fiscal quarter. Mm-hmm. And I've read about their growth. I see what their target markets are and all that. And the thing about it is they still are trying to expand even at this point as big as they are. But within that expansion, like when you look at their plans for expansion, it's never about the sneakerheads. Do I think the sneakerheads matter? Absolutely, because the thing about a company as big as Nike is there's a culture there. But I was talking about just like brass tacks, bottom line. If I have a marketing budget, how much is being allocated to pleasing the sneakerheads? I know Miz in our group chat was talking about they get free kicks. They get free kicks. Brian gets a bag. It's a difference.
Yeah, and that was not my point. My what I was trying to say was that the reason why Nike is in that position to give LeBron the bag is because of their secret weapon, which is that youth and the sneakerhead culture. That's where the whole idea of retros, that wasn't a brainchild of somebody in a corporate office. That was the kids. The reason why Air Force Ones are still for sale was because of sneakerheads. They only sold Air Force Ones for years in 2 places.
I get that. I mean, that's the streets, man. Like, in the words of DJ Khaled, man, the streets told me. I get that, right? But my point is, essentially, what you're saying essentially is that sneakerheads essentially are being used. Because when you look at their marketing 100%. Budget, there's no line item for sneakerheads. There's no line item. So it's at the point now where they have influence.
Let me ask you a question, Jimmy.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Let's assume that this isn't just a money grab and we're building. What is the importance or significance of LeVar Ball not necessarily being able to access other NBA players to wear his kicks?
That's a great question. That's one question I never actually anyone really brought up in terms of, we know he has other kids, right?
Because everybody else with a major shoe deal, like we know the other players wear other guys' kicks and they get a check for that even. But they influence as well.
Is he going to be able to get people to sign along that aren't last name Ball? Don't know, honestly. But
he might not even get his kids. He might not even get his other kids to sign on.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like,
I mean, that's possible too. That's possible
the young
too.
boy, the young boy the young boy has that rebel spirit that he might be like, yo, I ain't rocking with you, boy. Like I could, like the young boy.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I mean, it is what it is. He might want to cherry pick in something else. But my point is, that's a great question. Whether he'll be able to grow that. Now, that's why I think that this is a gamble that, and it goes back to the question Phil had. Was he lying about building this business? I think he's looking for more of a partnership, right? So it's sort of like you have that rapper that says, no, I'm staying independent unless a label is willing to give me a partnership and not a record deal. So I think that's kind of what his play is. His play, he's going the Rockefeller route. Listen, we're going to be independent. If we can prove ourselves with my first son, then before the other ones even get a chance to put a sneak on, we might have a partnership which will help me with those calls, which will help me with those things. And I think there's nothing wrong with betting on yourself. The one thing I thought about in this whole thing is the fact that at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? Like, there's not going to be one of them things where this is all speculation. It's going to show whether it works or it's not going to work. Absolutely. I know the Roy is trying to kill me in the chat room. He says he remembers when I refused to say his name. At the time, right, and I still don't agree with everything he does. I don't. That's the difference between me, Leroy, and some of the stuff I see you do. I'm not going to make an excuse for everything that he does. Some of the stuff he does is completely wrong, in my opinion. That tweet that he put out, if you ain't no big baller, like, that was ridiculous. That was stupid, in my opinion. But his overall mission, I'm for that. And I know that B. Austin says, well, I think that, he's using this and that, and he's not really about that. And that's true. And it goes to Phil's point about the messenger. But I do recognize that sometimes the message itself is bigger than even the messenger. Sometimes the message
can get lost
because of the message. That's true too.
The way the message is delivered.
But do you agree sometimes that the message itself is bigger than even who the messenger is?
Absolutely.
No.
There are cases let me give you a real world example. Imagine if let's say Ace Hood makes Trap or Die. It's totally it's not even Trap or Die. Like it's not the same thing. If random New York rapper A makes Reasonable Doubt, it's not the same.
Yeah, but sometimes you can be a corny dude.
If R. Kelly stands against pedophilia, it's not the same.
Listen, I understand that. But let's use R. Kelly again. R. Kelly also is still successful because sometimes his music is so fire. Or let's use Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson music is so fire that we sometimes don't even think about some of the things that he's been accused of, and there's evidence against him of.
They lied on Mike, though. They lied on Mike.
But that's my point.
R. Kelly is guilty. R. Kelly is guilty.
Listen, man. I may or may not have seen it. Go ahead.
Hey, Jim, you know how Beyonce, she, like, everything she does is just groundbreaking? Imagine if Keisha Cole was out there with a little baby bump. You know how clown she would be if she took that same exact picture that Beyonce took? That the world was fawning over.
That. But
Keisha Cole couldn't do that because the messenger is important.
Yo, listen. Sometimes it doesn't matter how corny you are. If you do something great, the message sometimes is bigger than the messenger. It works both ways.
But it has to be great. To that Rockefeller example that we were just talking about, to be Rockefeller, you got to have a reasonable doubt. The LeVar Ball doesn't have a reasonable doubt.
We don't know that yet, though. We don't know that yet.
To be Rockefeller, you have to have Jay-Z. And we don't know if LaMelo...
But that's my point.
Lonzo is Jay-Z.
You are proving my point. But also, now, back that up. To be Rockefeller, you have to take the chance that you do have a Jay-Z, or he has to be able to prove himself, which he did. We don't know what's going to happen. And let's not forget, the only reason there was a Rockefeller is because they got turned down by everybody. Nobody wanted him, right? So
true.
You have to give this guy a chance to prove himself, which is why I'm saying he's taking the gamble. When you were Rockefeller, right, before Rockefeller became what it was, they had to take the gamble that, we have something even though nobody else thinks we do. It's the same thing. So my thing is, the great thing about this story, we can go back and forth, is that the market's going to let us know what it means But I just think that it's not even about the market or building it independently. It's about getting a better distribution deal. That's what I think it's about. You know what I mean? It's like
under 1 year before he lowers the price.
I think it all depends upon how the boy plays. Let's say the boy comes out putting up Russell Westbrook triple-double numbers. He might not even make it through the full season without like going back to the table with one of the big players. You know what I mean? Like
if he puts up a Russell Westbrook line, if he does a RG3 rookie season, then he's written his own ticket. But what you're not acknowledging, because you said none of the other news matters, it's just after, just this sneaker. His dad has set the bar beyond what is fair for him.
No, I get that.
If he comes out and averages 16-5, he should be in the running for Rookie of the Year. But what the math is going to do and say.
I think that I think that he has set the bar extremely high. I think he did that as part of his marketing, right? Because here's the thing: before say January or February, before the tournament, do we even know LeVar? Did you?
Yo, Toe got you.
Real bad.
Can you hear me?
Let my people go.
Phil. What I was saying is I was saying around January or February, before the tournament and all that. Did you even know who LeVar Ball was?
Of course.
Kinda. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I did because I watch sports, but I mean, the average person didn't.
All right. I mean, I didn't even, and I watch sports, right? But I'm talking about way before the tournament. I'm talking about like in January, before he started making headlines with the crazy nonsense he was talking. Before he went on the media circuit.
Well, I wanted to know who Lonzo Ball was because people were talking about him. So I watched a couple of UCLA games and they talked to his pop, and that's how I found out about him.
Okay, now cool. Now my point is this though. He put in for
I'm going to sleep, so them joints is on like 1:30
I know. You different. You want something else. My thing is this though. He put in for the patent and trademark on this over a year ago. Like my man planned all this nonsense. Like he did this over a year ago.
Well, yeah, because he like Bernie Kosar Sr. Like he already has plans for his son's money. Like that's another thing that I'm actually concerned about. I really wonder how much of this is LeVar Ball and how much of this is the Ball family. Because to me, it feels like this is LeVar Ball's thing, and his sons just love their dad, so they ride with it.
Let me ask you a question, though, Phil. I want you to keep it a buck. Do you think he should have took that standard contract that Nike gives all the rookies?
This is it could be anybody, not Nike. It doesn't even have to be Nike. I think he should have took it because
specifically about Nike.
All right. I'm gonna tell you why he should have took it. Because you're a shareholder. Yeah, I want my stock to go up. Absolutely. But the reason why is because it's the same reason why Kendrick is on Interscope, or why Chance, even though he's 100% independent, he still has a deal with Apple. They can get you into so many homes. He still could have had BBB as a brand and made way more money off of BBB as a brand if he's a Nike athlete. Because he could have sold every accessory in the world.
I get all that.
For sneakers and made way more money than he ever can selling the sneakers on his own.
Hold on.
I'm a surprise.
Let me say this because I think you about to. My thing is this, though, Phil. We live in America, right? The greatest country in the world, according to some. But you have to
Filthy America is beautiful.
Filthy America is so beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Live your life by Locks Bar.
What happens if Nike decides that we're not going to build our own? We're just going to become a subsidiary of Adidas years ago. Like you have to think bigger than that. Like I don't agree with I have to go in these many homes. What if you want to build something from the ground up? You know what I mean? Like Like what
I'm
if?
all
Like,
for
in the words
independent.
in the words of Henry Ford,
He
I'm
can
all
still
for
do that
independent.
though, Jim.
huh? Not if you're not if you're. Listen, man, Brand Jordan will never be as big as Nike.
No. Some people don't even know that.
Nah.
Brand Jordan will never be as big as
Fair to the point. But if you get your name out there, he could always leave and do the thing on his own. He doesn't have to stay.
Nah, that's leaving.
But my thing is, his name is out there now anyway.
But it's not out there.
It's out there for nothing. But it's out there. Again, we talking about 2017. His name is out there. Look at your president.
Fundamentally, I don't have a problem with independence. I wouldn't even I applaud going away from the machine. What I have a problem with is LeVar Ball and his methodologies from a marketing and publicity standpoint. I believe what he is doing and the way he is going about it is wrong. I don't have a problem with him saying no to Nike and no to Adidas and no to Under Armour and no to Li Ning or whoever came calling and saying, I'm going to do my own thing. But the way he's going about this, nah.
And Austin, I respect that opinion. But sometimes, like I said, even if you disagree with that, I'll give you an argument's sake, right? I remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad saying that he agreed wholeheartedly with the way that Brother Martin was going about what he wanted to do, but the message was bigger than his approach to what he was doing. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like, I get your point, and I totally understand and I to that.
Nah, the approach is important, because I think if we sat down and had a conversation with the Honorable One and we look at where we are today as a society, it's a complete facade to say that we've advanced to where
I've never said we advanced. I didn't mention that one time. What I was saying is he respected the brother enough to say, listen, I know what he's trying to do and his heart is in the right place. I just don't agree with how he's going about doing it. That's all I was saying.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that.
I can't interpret where that brother. I can't interpret where Ball's heart is. Like was questioned.
Okay.
What are his son's thoughts on this? What is he really about?
We'll never know.
That's a big problem for me.
All we can do is speculate on that, though. For right now, until they say something, all we can do is speculate on that. But what I'm saying is,
right.
To Phil, I have no problem with people bucking the system all the time.
I don't either. I'm saying in this instance,
it's the reason why we have a Netflix. And I never forget this reading Henry Ford's book. He said, if I listened to what people said I should have done, I should have got a faster horse. But what did I do? I said, I'm not going to get a faster horse. I'm one of the biggest companies in the world. You can't just take the easy way, because that's literally because some people say the same thing you say. I would just go with Nike. And most of our people don't understand pure ownership.
But you can have pure ownership. What I'm saying is use them to get in a place to where you can be like Drake, for example. He used Universal and Cash Money, Young Money to get in a point where OVO is a standalone thing on its own. He doesn't need Universal or Cash Money to sell millions of records at all.
No, I hear what you're saying, right? But at the same time, on the flip side, you could take the boy from Kansas City who did it all himself, right?
But he started on major labels. He started on major labels.
He had no success with it. No success at all with it.
But he got that initial money. He got those initial checks.
Yeah, but he's going to get his initial checks from the NBA. You know what I mean? And in terms of a marketing budget, he don't need a marketing budget. If his father say something ridiculous, that's his marketing budget.
Well, see, but we also the thing that we need to clarify is whose company is this? Is this LeVar Ball's company, or is this Lonzo Ball's company, or is it the Ball family's company? We don't even know that. We think that's what it is.
All I'm saying is put up your coins, and when Triple B go public, we in the building. I don't know the answer to that. Don't know. None of us know the answer to that.
And that's my point. So we can't even say if those NBA, that might be the only money Lonzo Ball is actually seeing. He might not see no money off BBB.
He may not. Who knows? Only time California.
Yo, man,
real quick.
This
Rob,
might
Rob, we
not
ain't got
this
that much
might
time.
fracture their family. I mean, if it goes the wrong way, like which would
Possibly.
be sad.
Rob,
Hey,
calling
what's
from
up,
Cali.
man?
Real
What's
quick,
good?
Rob, give us your opinion on this whole thing, man. This is stuff out your neighborhood, man. What's good?
What's good,
Rob,
B?
hold
Your
up.
boy Big
Hold
Rob.
on.
Hey, what about Lonzo Ball?
Yeah, what's your opinion, man? You out there?
A lot of people are laughing. Girl, hello.
What you got? You got some. You in the house? You got some. What's up, man?
Yo,
we only got a couple minutes, Rob. Rob, we got a couple minutes, man. What's up?
Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Well, my opinion. Well, a lot of brothers. First of all, I told y'all last show, and y'all, and I'm sorry I couldn't clarify it because last show. What I'm saying is it's just the way a person's raised. Me, I'm a firm advocate in my community. My pops, bought me a pair of Starberries, and it wasn't because it was cheap. It's because he valued what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? And I really respect that. I'll never forget that. First my dad's birthday just passed. Half a century pushing on. Shout out to Pops. But yeah.
Happy birthday to Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what's up, man? Rob? What's good?
I mean, with Lonzo Ball, I mean, y'all gave a lot of stuff. It's a lot to digest.
It is.
Probably take me like a day, but it's like
that's why we got the podcast, beloved.
But it's like Jimmy's right and he's right. Like
I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. Like I started this off, Rob, by saying there's no right or wrong answer. There's just a perspective, right? There's perspectives. Phil is a stockholder at Nike and a sneakerhead. B. Austin is a banker. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just playing devil's advocate. I understand both sides of it. I don't think there is a wrong answer.
I believe in entrepreneurship.
I do. I believe in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I love the history of business, and I love people bucking the system. But still, this is a podcast you need to check out. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's about businesses that interrupt businesses. And I love this kind of stuff, which is why this topic is interesting to me. But I also understand B. Austin's point and how the dude can be off-putting.
It's B. Austin's kind of like right. It's like he's sending the ball high for this kid to where, and I'm not gonna say because I know what B. Austin was talking about. Like he's gonna have to be above and beyond. He's gonna set the bar, try to be like a LeBron too, because he's setting that bar just unrealistically high for this kid, and to me, it doesn't matter if he goes out and straight out puts up like, let's say, because he's a good point guard, let's say 15 and 8 the whole season, he's still going to win because you got guys like ESPN is still going to give this guy a platform to talk, his dad to talk.
They're going to bring him on to talk about how bad his son is.
They're gonna bring up talk about anything, and the scary part is what happens when like stuff and social justice stuff happens. How is his dad gonna respond? And how the people, that's what scares me. Like, but my thing is, I have a question for his work ethic. How is his work ethic? Because
only top you can't really say that right now, because just because your work ethic is one way on one level doesn't mean it's going to be the other way on another level. So like I said, we have to just wait and see what happens.
I mean, do I really want him on my Lakers and to pull him like a sheaf full of yams? Is he going to be able to handle that? How is he going to respond?
Rob, listen, man, we got to get out of here, man. But Rob, thanks for the call, homie.
Yo, that is a great point. The first time they stick a microphone in LeVar Ball's face and ask him a world question or something about.
I don't even want that. I don't even want to talk about. That.
Yo, man. Oh man.
Yo. All I can say is this, man. He is set the bar high, man, but that's how you got to do it, man. We talked earlier about how the bar was set high for LeBron, and he lived up to it. Now, whether this dude is LeBron or whether this dude is Harold Miner, I don't know.
That's not the same thing. His mom and dad didn't set that bar. The rest of the world did. His dad is setting him up, man. That's a setup, man.
Listen, man.
His dad don't want him to be better than him.
In the words of the great philosopher, man, the great philosopher named Dwight, he said, "Go against all odds. You shoot for the moon. If you miss, you're still amongst the stars, man." What do you say?
Man,
play
John
your cards.
Cornelius said that. Yo, that got pilfered.
No, man. No, man. That was from feeling in the air, man. I don't know.
I know what it was from. But you know.
I know, dog. You'll never hear me quote Don, but you're going to hear me quote Dwight. Anyway, with that being said, man, this whole talk has dominated our whole show that we didn't talk about nothing else, but it's cool because it was an amazing conversation. And shout out to everybody on all these social media platforms who are telling us that they had a conversation because it's interesting, man. I just think that time will tell how this plays out.
We're going to talk about how Chuck Wagon got ran out of the Baltimore church show.
Yo, I heard that show was actually pretty good. I didn't peep it, but some people, like, surprisingly had good feedback on it.
We ain't going to talk about how the beard is choking. And my man Manu Ginobili found a fountain of youth for at least one play.
Or how my brother Vaz said, yo, that's what he get for stealing my style.
Yo, y'all talking about it. Listen, man. Yo, all I'm saying is the playoffs are still going on, man. There's no surprises that, Cleveland's waiting. Golden State is waiting. But I do want to ask you, gentlemen, the last two series, it sounds like both of you guys are leaning towards the Spurs. Is that true?
Yeah, I definitely believe the Spurs was going, but I don't know if this is breaking news or not, but Kawhi's not playing tonight, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
All right, now what about the other side?
Got an ankle injury.
Now my next question is, Celtics Wizards. Who do you guys think is going to pull that out, and does it even matter?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.
The Wizards. I'm gonna choose the Wizards. I think that
they got to win 2 straight though.
They're in DC, right?
Are Cinderella.
They're in DC, but they got to win 2 straight. Now,
I think Boston will win. I think the home it'll be a Game 7, and Boston will win.
The home team,
but it doesn't
home
matter.
team has won every game in this series. But here's my question: if you took the best players off the Wizards and the best players off the Celtics, do they even stand a chance against Cleveland?
Oh no, no, because that would that'd be Isaiah and John Wall. They basically play the same position, so
and there'd be no shots left. But that's crazy, man. So you guys, man, it's amazing, man. Chat.
Man, I appreciate you guys, man. Shout out to Dev for letting me sit in his seat for a little bit. Pause.
Yeah. Salute to Dev. Dev is not here. If you haven't recognized now, then it is what it is. But Dev is at a meeting right now. We're trying to get a sponsor of our show. So Dev. But thanks Phil for that. Anyway, thank you folks for joining for another. Out to everybody in the chat room, like homie Phil Mack, for joining us talk. The sneakerhead on 1,000 page. Next week, live right on the WR Podcast Network. Talk. We'll continue to play some much more children enjoying the sports in your week, and we'll see you right back here. Remember, everything we do, whether it's our conversations, whether it's our social media, whether it's my book, whatever it is, can be found at warroomsports.com. That is the hub. Again, that book is Sports the Book, but you can also find it at sportsthebook.com, but it's also at the hub of everything else we do, which is warroomsports.com. So until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top.
Jimmy, know the blueprint. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, .Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop dollars, pit stop knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. baby, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, PJ, Jack Beck, Lee Austin. I'm Jack. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.
Okay, keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
I want to show you my first ever painting.
All right.
Okay. Open your eyes.
Oh, that's a lot of colors and shapes.
So be honest. What do you think?
Well, I like how if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Here, why don't I hold your paintbrush while you call them?
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Only T-Mobile gives you unlimited data with taxes and fees included, so you save hundreds a year. And get 2 lines for just $100 a month, all in with AutoPay. And right now, harness the power of unlimited with the Samsung Galaxy S8. It's the fastest Galaxy ever, so it deserves the fastest and most advanced LTE network. Why wait? Switch today. Only at T-Mobile.
Top 3% of users greater than 30 gigabytes per month may notice reduced speeds. Price includes sales tax.